Sometimes you may find that you're keeping track of various types of information about your customers outside of ACT, but ACT makes it simple to modify fields so that you can bring this custom external data into the records within ACT. Let's say that I need to start keeping track of 3 things for each contact. I want the record to display their account number, their credit limit, and their payment due date. We can modify some of the existing generic user fields within ACT to satisfy this need. So let's take a look at these fields and see how they currently appear. In the left navigation, I'm just going to go to my contacts area, and then I'm going to double click on one of my contacts to go to their detail view. And once I'm on the detail view, I'm going to locate the user fields tab down at the bottom, and I'll just click that. Now here we have 10 user fields which aren't currently being used to capture anything at all within ACT. I'm going to modify 3 of these fields, the user1 field, user2, and user3, to capture the data that I need. To do this, I'm going to start by going to the Tools menu, and I'll choose Define Fields. Now, I want to view fields for contacts, so I'm going to leave this selected in the dropdown. And then beneath that, I'll scroll all the way down to my various generic user fields. I'm going to select the user1 field to highlight it, and then I'll click Edit Field. Now I'm going to change the name of this field from user1 to account number. For the data type, I want this to be an uppercase field, since my account numbers always use uppercase letters. ACT displays a warning box to tell me that if we were previously using this field for any purpose, then changing the field type could result in a loss of data. But since I know we've never used this field before, I'm going to click Yes to continue. ACT will now save this change to make this field an uppercase field. Now let's look at the field behavior area below. I'm going to check the box to allow this field to be blank because I don't want to require that this field must have data in case we don't have an account number for every contact. Next, I'm going to check the box to generate history because I want to track any changes made to the data in this field over time. This is not going to be a primary field and I don't have a drop-down list for it, so I'm going to click Next. For the default value, I'm just going to leave that blank because I don't have any default data that should appear in this field. Beneath that, I can change the format of this field, which allows me to force my users to follow a specific format for any data that is put into this field. So for example, at my company, account numbers are always 4 letters followed by 2 numbers. Therefore, to force this format, I'm going to enter the @ symbol 4 times because the @ symbol represents letters, and then I'm going to enter the number sign twice because the number sign represents a number. If you'd like to see the full formatting key list, visit the Help area from within ACT. For field length, since I know it's a 6-character account number, I'm going to say this field should be 6 characters in length. And that's all I need to do. I'm going to click Finish now. And now ACT warns me again that because I changed the field length, it may result in the loss of data, but I've never used the user1 field before, so I'm going to click Yes. After the update, ACT shows us that the account number field has been created, and if I scroll down to the user area, there is no more user1 on the list, since I've changed that to the account number field. Okay, let's change the second one now, user2. I'll highlight it and click Edit Field. This field I'm going to call Credit Limit. Now the field type is a currency field, so I'll choose Currency. And again, I'll click Yes to the warning. Once again, I do want to allow blank fields here, and I also want to continue to generate history just in case somebody changes the credit limit for one of my contacts. Now I'll click Next, and I don't have any default value to put here, but now I have a new set of fields to answer to. First, the number of decimal places to the left of the decimal separator. I'm going to change this to 5 since I think the maximum credit limit that I'll give anybody is $99,999. To the right of the decimal, I don't want anything because I'm not dealing in cents. I'm not linking this to any company field, so I'm just going to click Finish and then Yes. Okay, my credit limit field has now been created. So let's go do the final one and change the user3 field. And I'm going to rename this field Payment Due Date, but I'm just going to abbreviate it. Now because this is a date field, I'm going to change the field type to Date. And I'll click Yes once again. And again, I want to allow a blank field here, but now I don't want to generate any history if anybody changes the due date. So I'll click Next and Finish. If I scroll down, I can see my payment due date field is now there. So let's click Close. Now that I've edited 3 of the generic user fields, when I go to the User Fields tab for one of my contacts, immediately I can see that the User 3 field has changed. You can see that there's a drop down here, and when I click it, it gives me a date selection field. So let's just put the end of the year as the payment due date. The first field, the User 1 field, should be uppercase, and it should follow my formatting of 4 letters and then 2 numbers. If I try to type in 2 numbers at the start, ACT won't let me. It has to be 4 letters and then 2 numbers. And then finally, the User 2 field is a currency field. If I try to type any letters in this field, nothing will happen. But if I type in numbers and then tab out of this field, ACT converts that to a currency. So all 3 of these fields have been successfully formatted, and I'll click Save to save this contact record. But notice the field labels here. They still say User 1, User 2, and User 3. It's important to know that we only changed the database fields, not the corresponding field labels. We're going to fix that in the next video in this series titled Renaming Tabs and Fields. For now, we have seen that we can change fields to suit any of the needs of my business.